No intro, no none of that. We're just going to jump straight into it. So we all know what's been going on with Deion Sanders and Nick Saban and also Jimbo Fisher. Oh yeah, real quick, I do want to remind you guys, there's a bunch of you watching the videos and you're just simply not subscribed. On a previous video we made only a couple of days ago, I said let's see how many new subscribers we can gain, and I'll tell you in the next one, and we gained over 800. 800, that's crazy, but I guess that's how I gotta get y'all to subscribe to the channel. So once again, if you want to see how many new subscribers we can gain from this video, subscribe to the channel and I'll tell you in the next one. And now without further ado, let's get into it. Not really here to talk about what happened in the past couple of days, but there's a new situation going on that involves Deion and, ironically, Nick Saban. When this feud started going on with Jackson State, Nick Saban, and Jimbo Fisher, I thought it was a major win for Deion because Jackson State, they got a ton of recognition and publicity. And it wasn't bad publicity. If anything, it was good. I also think it made Deion look 10 times better because he didn't throw Nick Saban under the bus and say some crazy stuff like Jimbo Fisher did. He had a respectful response. I gotta give a ton of credit to Deion. He was very mature and he handled it the best way possible. Nick Saban threw a slightly low blow at Deion, Jackson State, and Jimbo, and he didn't throw nothing back. And it's already looking like he's seen those dividends pay out and he's seeing immediate results. I know what you're probably sitting there saying, yo Matt, what are you talking about? What's going on? Let me enlighten you on the situation that's happening right now. There's a 5-star recruit, he's a defensive lineman that goes by the name of Peter Woods, and he's from Alabaster, Alabama. Alabaster, Alabama, that's a mouthful, but it's a city, and he plays for Thompson High School. If you're from Alabama or near that area, you know Thompson. That's a great school. Just like any other 4 or 5-star recruit that's from the state of Alabama, there's about a 95% chance they go to Alabama. But however, Deion Sanders is trying to steal him away from Alabama. And it's not just one-sided where Deion wants him. The recruits also made it very clear he's got Jackson State in his top 2 or 3. There's a real and legit possibility he might go there. Another part to this that I find really funny is that Deion Sanders didn't even offer him up until all this nonsense started going on a couple of days ago. Little fishy if you had to ask me. I'm starting to think Deion only wants to offer him and steal him away just to get back at Saban. Here's what the 5-star recruit said about Deion offering him only a couple days ago. Jackson State offering towards the end of my recruitment does nothing to their chances. They can take a seat up there right next to my top 3 or 4. If you don't know about recruiting, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not every day you offer a 5-star recruit this late in his recruitment process and he even considers your school. The fact that Jackson State is already in the top 3, it says a lot about Deion. I know the argument that everybody has, oh, nobody in their right mind would go to Jackson State, but like I said, if Deion's the head coach, it gives you a good chance of getting some of these 3, 4, and 5-star recruits. He also added to it, and I find these statements rather interesting. HBC culture is second to none, and there's something special about what Coach Prime is building there, which is why the #1 player in the 22 class chose him. He then followed that up by saying this, I've been waiting for this offer, and I feel I would 100% gel in this program, I believe. That was a key phrase to me. He said he's been waiting on that offer. I want to make this clear. This recruit has offers from Alabama and any school he wants to go to, but yet he was waiting to get an offer from Jackson State. Look, I'm not going to sit up here and bore you and tell you how great he is. He's 6'4", 280 pounds, around that area. He's a 5-star recruit. It speaks for himself. The dude's a beast. The dude's a monster. He's a guy that could go to Alabama and start as a freshman and dominate. Could you even imagine for a second how impressive that would be for Deion to steal a recruit out of Nick Saban's home state and get him to go to Jackson State? And I get it, Jackson State is kind of close to Alabama. It's located in Mississippi, but I still think that's crazy. I have a weird feeling, just by going off of the vibes and what this kid said about Jackson State, there's a good chance he could wind up landing there. If Deion can get the #1 player in the class of 2022, I don't see why he can't get another 5-star defensive player as well. I think for the most part, the reason a lot of people are saying nobody wants to go to Jackson State and they're paying people is because you're scared of it. Not just in football, but in this everyday life, people are terrified of the unknown. We've never seen an HBCU in a program as low as Jackson State do what they're doing. To me, it's awesome, and I don't understand why a lot of fans are hating on them. Oh wait, yeah I do. The harsh reality is people are somewhat intimidated by them. If you weren't intimidated by them, you wouldn't worry about it. The fact that everybody's talking about Deion and Travis Hunter, that means they're in their heads. I absolutely love what Coach Primetime's doing. He's starting a new trend and he's making history. If you would have told me or anyone last year he was going to get Travis Hunter, the aka former #1 player in the country, people would have looked at you like you're stupid. He's defining the odds and I don't know what the limits are. The reason I don't know what the limits are is because we've never seen a program do what Jackson State's doing at that level. Could they potentially start landing a bunch of these 4 and 5 star recruits? I guess we'll have to see. I honestly just don't know, but here's what I do know. It appears to seem that all these kids in high school, they love them. Let's be honest, is going to Jackson State attractive? No, absolutely not. But here's what is, playing for Deion Sanders. And maybe eventually, if they continue to roll on this momentum they got, it could be attractive to go there. You got to start somewhere. Alabama wasn't attractive to go to in 2006 and 2007, and only a few years later, everybody was wanting to go there. We could see that with Jackson State. Am I saying Jackson State's going to be competing for championships and they could get up to the levels of a USC, Alabama? No, that's crazy talk. All I'm saying is just keep your eyes close on this situation and what Deion's got going on. Moving on with this video, he also recently talked about what Nick Saban said, and I'll just read you the quote right here. "You can't do that publicly and try to call me privately. No, no, no. I still love him, I admire him, and I respect him. He's the magnet," I don't even know what he was trying to say there, "of college football, and that's what it's going to be because he's earned that. But he took a left when he should have took a right. I'm sure he'll get back on the course. I ain't tripping." That is one of the best responses I've ever seen. You can't word it any better than that. He didn't disrespect Nick Saban, but he also stood up for himself. There's a fine line between being an a-hole and not sticking up for yourself, and he found that. Hopefully that made sense. It made sense in my head. I can't emphasize it enough. Mr. Primetime has handled everything so efficiently and just so well. Last but not least, before we end off this video, kind of going in a random place with this, I gotta talk about and bring up what Steve Sarkisian said at Texas. For those of you that don't know, it was announced that Fox was gonna be the host of the Texas and Alabama game next year. And Fox is notorious for having big time games like that kick off at noon. I think I speak for everybody when I say this. Nobody wants to watch a primetime team and primetime game like Alabama and Texas at noon. That should be around 6 or 7 p.m. At worst, it should be a 2:30 game. It shouldn't be at noon. There was a lot of debate about this, and there still is, and it got to the point where the fans of Texas, they started a petition to make it a night game. Steve Sarkisian was asked about it, and he said, quote unquote, "I don't give a what time kickoff is, y'all just show up." And then in the comment section, you got people saying stuff like this, 41-10, Bama confirmed. Oh man, that Alabama and Texas A&M game, they're going to be legendary. There's going to be so much bad blood. It's going to be awesome. Since I brought it up, I am kind of curious. Do you think Alabama's going to crush Texas? Do you think it's going to be close? Or heck, will Texas even upset them? Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for y'all. May upload another video tonight. Guess y'all have to just stay tuned and wait for that. Let me know your thoughts down below. But what up, peace.